All right. Welcome, everybody. We are so glad to see you this evening with us. We're hanging out, all of us in our Wakelet t-shirts, because that's what we like to do at night is talk about Wakelet. And so we are so glad that you are joining us and that you are here to hear about Wakelet. So I've got some amazing people with me this evening. Welcome. I'm going to go back one more slide one more time because we are joining as part of 5-Star Technology Solutions. My name's Sherry Gick. I'm a director of professional development here, and I want to kick it off and let everybody introduce themselves. So I'm going to have Brett introduce himself first because guess what? He introduced me to Wakelet.
Hey, my name is Brett Miller. I'm a professional development specialist. I work for a school in southeastern Indiana in my 5th year. And before that, I was a 6th grade teacher for 5 years in Connersville, Indiana. So I'll kick that off to Jenna.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. Hi, everyone. My name is Jenna Lingle, and I am also a PD specialist, similar to Brett, but I am able to support teachers all over Indiana. And before coming into this position, I worked with kindergarten, 2nd grade, and 3rd grade. And loving the Wakelet. Super excited to learn with you all today. I'm going to pass the mic over to Matt.
Hey, everybody. My name is Matt Miller. I'm a PD specialist like everybody else here, and I work at Mill Creek Community Schools in West Central Indiana. And before that, I guess this will start my 4th year doing that. Before that, I was a classroom teacher, mostly in 6th grade social studies, and I did that for 8 years. All right, passing the mic to Sean.
Hey, that's me. Thanks, everybody. I'm so excited to be here and nerding over another great ed tech tool, Wakelet, right? So again, my name is Sean Fahey. I get to work with these incredible teacher educators, supporting teachers with innovative learning solutions using technology like Wakelet. So I hope that you enjoy our kind of conversation and us sharing Wakelet with you tonight. So excited to be here with everybody.
Awesome. Thanks for showing up, guys. Honestly, I was like, please, let's all talk about Wakelet. Won't it be fun? Won't it be fun? So it's going to be fun. So here's some of the things we're going to try and talk about tonight, probably covering them and even more. We want to be talking about resources, how you're sharing them with students, what you're sharing with students, how Wakelet can make this better for you, right? As far as like, how is it helpful for all of us as educators and the educators that we work with? And then like, what the heck is Wakelet, right? As far as like, we've got the t-shirts, we're telling you about it, but we're going to dive in and show you how you can get started with it, a little bit about how it's safe to be able to use it. And then hopefully we'll have some time for tips and tricks to go and take it that direction. So we're going to start off this evening and we want you thinking about, and all of us, let's start thinking about as far as like how we curate resources and share them with our learners.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think a lot of us have been doing that the past like 18, 19 months, having been pushed to virtual learning, right?
Super good point, for sure.
It's been a fun game. So I want everyone here, myself included, to think about our classrooms, to think about our learners. And Brett, Sherry, Sean, Matt, I'm looking at you, but also anyone that's watching, myself included, to think about our classrooms, to think about our learners. And Brett, Sherry, Sean, Matt, I'm looking at you, but also anyone that's watching, myself included, to think about our classrooms.
All right, we got it playing somewhere else. Uh-oh.
And Brett, Sherry, Sean, Matt, I'm looking at you, but also.
There we go. We got a little echo going on. Let's try it one more time, Jenna. Tell us a little bit more about what are we thinking
She
about?
She talks so fast.
Someone was watching. Someone was trying to watch us on YouTube while also participating.
Right? Yeah. So, anyways, hey, what learning resources are you already sharing with your students? And then also, how do you share them with those learners?
All right. So I'm thinking about this.
I share a lot. I mean, I share a lot. Like, I mean, just think about all we have paper materials that we share, but like, I think of all the digital tools that I use in the classroom, and even what I'm sharing with teachers, like it's coming from all over the place, right? Like there might be some great things from Google, there might be some great YouTube videos, there might be some great apps and activities.
Yeah, exactly. And trying to figure out what to share and not overwhelm your students. I think about how far we've come in like the last like 4 or 5 years too. Even like, before I even started as an e-coach, thinking about how I used to share things and how far I've 2 years ago.
So I want to hear about that then, as far as like, as we're thinking about that, Brett, I think I'm going to go ahead and can you talk about as far as maybe how you shared as a classroom teacher, like what that might have looked like and some types of things that you might have been sharing?
Yeah, so one of the ways that I used to share, like just recently we had International Dot Day, and one of the ways I used to share with students, and this was probably early collaborative Google, 2015, 2016, we were doing a lot of Google Docs. My school just recently became a Google school, and I used to share a lot of Google Docs with students because Classroom was still kind of a new thing. Google Classroom, I mean. So I used to do a lot of sharing docs and URLs in the Google Doc like this one, and I fell victim to that, especially with PD. I'm sure you've had PDs where you put all your links into one special doc, and you're trying to get everything, and it just becomes this big giant mess. Usually.
Well, you're right. As far as like I've shared like this as a teacher, I've shared like this resources, all different kinds of things like that. So Jenna, you second grade, right? So you probably wouldn't have been sharing a document with them. So what did that look like for you when you were in the classroom and the teachers you work with?
Right. So when I was working with my learners, I did anything and everything that I could in Google Slides. And just because I feel like it was a really great tool. And as you can see on my screen right here, I took several of what Brett's resources were that he had in his doc and just kind of put them each on the slide. But thinking back on it, like this took so much time to create. I mean, there were some interactive components, but I know that there was something better out there.
We do the best until we know better, right? And so
but Jenna, I love the improvement over docs because of how you can embed videos, and like then you can kind of make it more customized instead of just like those repetitive blue links, and you have them sectioned off by like slide. Like that helps chunk it up for your second graders. So I think that's a great solution for what you're doing. But yeah, like for me though, kind of Brett alluded to Google Classroom, right? So like that's what I did. I did Google Classroom because so you can kind of do it in a couple of ways. Like this first one where you see International Dot Day right here, I utilized the material feature. So not many teachers, I think, realize what the idea of creating a material is. It's the idea of I'm providing you an educational resource, right? And so here under this topic of International Dot Day, I've added a bunch of International Dot Day resources for students to utilize for maybe an upcoming lessons, maybe a series of lessons. And it's great because it chunks it up. It's not that blue text. They can click the link there. They can view the material by maybe I wanted to provide some additional directions, which I didn't do. But on top of that, I could also include specific links to a lesson. So here is a lesson. I'm in teacher view, but if I view the assignments from more of a student perspective, they have all these nice little thumbnail links and resources. They kind of give a preview. I can have YouTube videos right here, all in my assignment to explore and learn about International Dot Day or whatever they need to use these links for.
But that's taken some teacher time, right? As far as like you didn't
copy
just
and paste.
copy and paste it, put it in there.
And to be honest, if you're going to create a material, you have to give it a title. You might give it a description. You got to put it into a topic. You got to organize it in some way.
Yeah, that time starts to build up.
Yeah, I mean, like copy and pasting links over to a doc, or just like Jenna said with her slides. Yeah.
Well, I've heard there's other LMSs out there, right? As far as like besides Google Classroom. So what you got for us, Matt?
All right, so we're a Canvas school, K through 12. We use Canvas, or at least we start in Canvas. And so if I was doing stuff and how I did in my classroom, I was still in the classroom, I still used Canvas then, is that I'd probably start with like some header thing that I'd probably create in Canva, not to be confused with Canvas, but a little bit different there, which would probably take me like 10 minutes. And then I'd come through and I'd make some headings, maybe insert a table to make this. And then I'd add links, and just like you would, and just like Sean would in Classroom, it's just a little bit different in Canvas, but I'd add some YouTube videos and go through it all. Maybe it would take me 30 minutes to put all this together. By the time you have all your links or all your tabs open, you're copying and pasting from your links. But this is kind of how I would set it up in Canvas, and how I see most Most people in our district, at least, using it this way with headers when we're trying to do this. This is a page. You could do it the same as an assignment. They're obviously very similar if you're familiar with Canvas. And if you're not using Canvas, using one of the other ones, that it would be similar. So
I think you're right. As far as like Classroom looks a little bit different than Canvas, but if you're using Schoology or all of some of the different ones, this is pretty much how it's going to work. And so it sounds like, I mean, I'm hearing at least 30 minutes that we're going to take to put this in here. Although I know how I'm in slides, Jenna, like those slides would take me way more than 30 minutes. And Matt's like, oh, this banner took me 10 minutes to make. Okay, that banner would take me like forever to make for sure. So can Wakelet help with this as far as like, is it going to be able to save teachers time? Is that something that we can answer as far as, we're not going to be talking about just how we used to do things, because it's almost like we know better now, right? As far as like, we know this great tool that can save all of you time in sharing. And that tool for us is Wakelet. And so let's talk a little bit about how you can utilize Wakelet.
So for me, Wakelet is your one-stop shop of a dumping ground for anything digital. And even, or you can make things that's not digital, even digital as an image, and you could package it all together in these nice put together collections to then deliver to your students in a nice organized way. So if we're looking at the slide here, it just shows like anything with a link literally can be put and saved into a Wakelet collection to then be organized for your students in a much simpler and easier way.
I like that evolution, because Sean started by saying it could be a dumping ground, and some of us on here use it that way. As far as like Brett and I are pilers, right?
Dumping
as far
ground
as like
champion.
We are pilers.
At least I have it.
Things. Yep. And some of us in this stream are filers who will organize, and we definitely want to kind of look at those different, but the best part is, again, look at all the different things, pretty much anything digital we're going to be able to utilize. So tell us, Jenna, like there's so many cool things. Sean just talked about a little bit, but tell us more. Like, let's hear it.
Yeah. So what is Wakelet? Friends, Wakelet is a free interactive content curation platform. Free. You see it scrolling on the bottom. We love free. Anything that saves you money, because I know that teachers, you spend so much of your own funds. So this is free, and it's going to allow you to save any online content. You saw in the previous slide, Sean was talking about it. Sherry was reiterating. We can share anything with a link. We can organize and curate, so pulling in different pieces of information and putting it together. That was one of my favorite things. Yes, save me time, please. But one of my favorite things about Wakelet is that I'm able to curate and then help my students realize and look at the different links and really help them think critically. But also collaborate. You can even work with others in a Wakelet, and then it's going to presenting and sharing information. So it's a one-stop shop for a lot of amazing things. Did I mention it's free?
Oh, wait, free? Are you sure?
A couple times.
Yeah, that's why you should use Wakelet. It's free. It also does some really cool other things.
And not a freemium like a lot of other tools.
Okay, I think that leads to the next part. So unlimited. It can't be free and unlimited. What is unlimited? What? Like I can use, what does that mean?
You can have
no limits. Anything and everything.
Save as much as you want.
Collections, not a limit on the items within a collection. Invite as many collaborators as you want. It's unlimited. Yes, heart, 100%.
Love it.
And also, it's safe. It's so many times we worry about our students and their safety online. It's safe. It's GDPR, it's COPA compliant, it's FERPA, CSPC, and New York Ed Law 2D compliant. Thank you, Wakelet.
I know there's been lots of updates recently as far as like, and to make sure that they're meeting some of these state requirements as far as like, these are our friends across the pond. And so they're like, we really want to make sure that everybody can utilize it in the United States. And so they're working really hard to meet those safety compliances.
And they listen to teacher feedback. Since I've been using Wakelet for 3 years now, which is just coming up in my 3 years in October. And I can't tell you enough about the people behind Wakelet and what they do for the teacher community and how they listen and how it continues to grow.
Shout out to the Wakelet team. Okay. I think we've told them amazing stuff about it, right? So show us, as far as we've got these links, who's taking this? Whose screen would like to show, as far as like, how are we going to actually show them how easy it is?
Yeah, I can. So I'm in my Wakelet account right now. So here I am, Wakelet.
Cool.
And as you can see, we kind of did some organization prior to this. We took the theme of International Dot Day, which was like a couple of weeks ago. And we've kind of shown that repetitively, so we have some continuity. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create a new collection for International Dot Day. Here's a great option. You have multiple layouts, like media view. We have some compact, more thumbnails, very similar to what you may have saw in the Google Classroom. You can kind of do some smaller grid view, mood board. And I heard, if I could tease, like there could be a new layout coming soon. That's going to
I heard something about that. I love these views.
You gotta get into Wakelet to use it to find out what it is. I'm not going to give it away. All right, so I'm going to use the media view because that's the most common one. And again, you're going to give it a title of your collection. I'm just going to make it short and say dot day. And here we go. So as you can see, immediately put any web address. We also have other options of adding some text. So if I want to add a chunk of text, I can add all sorts of things here. I can make it bold, have some formatting options as well. But you can see I can upload images, upload from my computer. I can use just from Giphy, love that option. And then obviously choose from library allows you to pull from Unsplash. So if you're just looking for more of a stylistic image, something that represents something, you can obviously add that. And then you can upload PDFs as well. And here's your other apps that you can pull from as well. So there's a lot of great integrations amongst other tech tools. So here I'm going to put a web address in here. So I have a .day Wonderopolis link that I want my students to have.
Love it.
So I can simply copy that, obviously, and paste that in. And with a little bit of Wakelet magic, it automatically pulls in some of the information from that site. Now,
you didn't type anything, Sean. You just like pasted it in there, just like we saw Brett paste it into his document, but like
copy and paste and put it in there. And then if you again continue on, going to copy and paste that in. Is a great way. Now, what I also like to do is use the Wakelet Chrome extension. The great thing I like to do about that, and I think I might have to make sure and click done and save this collection, or it saves, but I have to click done. And what I'm going to do is on this International Day website, I'm going to click this Wakelet extension. I don't even have to copy and paste. I see my list of my collections. Here's my .day one. I'm going to click save. I could customize it right here if I want to. Change the heading name, change the informational text as it's pulling from the site, and I can just immediately click save in this .day collection. It's there, it's done, and I can keep going on to my research and gathering resources that I want my students to use. Now, again,
and you did that all in 2 clicks, Sean. Like that was 2 clicks.
All this computers. Right?
Wait, Matt, how many clicks was it taking you over there in that LMS? A few more?
It took me a while,
It took you a while. Okay.
Yeah.
More than again, 2, I think is what I'm hearing.
Matt is currently still editing his banner in Canva. Okay, yeah, so I now have my 2 items, and again, I can edit this in multiple ways by clicking and dragging and editing things I want, and that's the simplest way to start creating a collection in Wakelet by, again, copying and pasting those links. Anything with a link, it can be saved. Text, images, PDF uploads. Using the Wakelet extension is an incredible time saver for me, gathering up resources to deliver a collection of links, media, whatever you might want to call it, to my students.
I think we may talk a little more about that extension for sure later on. So you are working in and making a .day. Again, I feel like we probably should have done a shout out at the beginning. So we have been talking about .day. Shout out to Peter Reynolds for the amazing book and for Terry Shea for .day. celebration 15-ish, which means you can celebrate it all of September. We can go the whole month. So make sure we give them credit for that. But okay, so this awesome collection. So wait a minute. I'm peeking, and behind the scenes, I think like Matt, you've got this collection. So you have access to this collection, even though Brett and Sean have been adding things to it?
Yeah. So you can add collaborators and work together, which is nice. Super nice.
Cool.
If you're on a team, if you're teaching on a team, grab stuff together, go play with it that way. Put all your resources in one place.
So what can you do with that collection? As far as like we heard about your time and getting things together, how is this going to save you time?
So in Canvas, which is here, and then once you get your collection made, you can share it. And what's awesome about this is that you can embed it in places, right? So once you click on share button, go to embed, there are some options here. I'm not really going to play with them. You can play with them, but you can turn stuff off that you don't want, turn it back on, whatever. Light or dark mode, depending on what you want, but I'm just going to leave it here. I'm going to copy this embed tool or embed code. And if I switch over to a Canvas page or an assignment, I'm just going to do a page, but obviously it works the same. You get your box here, and you're just going to flip down into this embed code here. Now, even if you don't work in code, if you have no idea what code is, it still makes it perfectly easy to do this. And copy, or we already copied it, so we're going to paste it in. And you hit the magic button over here, and it drops the entire Wakelet right into your Canvas page. Right?
It didn't matter. We didn't know any of that stuff. As far as you copied it, you pasted it in. It doesn't matter.
Believe it's just all right there. And I imagine too, Matt, if you update your Wakelet, it updates on Canvas too.
Yeah, so you're only going to have to update it in one spot. So if you move any of these things around, like when we added this, like maybe you wanted to move this Explore section down, you could grab those in your Wakelet collection, move it around, and it'll automatically update.
Nice. I love that.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's if you're embedding, that's if you don't have anything in here, which is kind of crazy. But if you have like this one, this is a super crazy awesome trick for Canvas, and you want to put a collection like in the middle of your stuff. Like you have all these things, right? But maybe you want to put your collection right here. If you just type, and hopefully you can see this, it's kind of tall, but if you just type a bunch of Z's or your favorite character, whatever it is, right? And then when you go to your embed code, it's a little easier to find, like, oh, there's all my Z's, right? And then you can highlight your Z's. And then if you paste, again, like I already had it copied, right? If you paste it and then get out of your HTML editor and back to your rich content stuff, when you scroll down, your Wakelet will be in the middle of wherever you put it. Right?
That's cool.
Okay.
That's like Jedi level.
That totally just blew my mind, Matt.
I think what's cool too with that embed feature, if you're a Google person, use Google Sites, you can embed, same thing. If you're using Google Sites, you can use that embed code and you can paste the embed code straight on the site and will automatically embed it onto your site as well. So I love that embed feature. That's really cool.
And Matt, I didn't even realize, like, go back to the Wakelet that you were showing. And I know you said, I'm not gonna play with these features, but I'm so interested in the fact that when I embed it, it doesn't have to look exactly like it does. So I can take some of the things off of it. And that's fascinating to me as far as like, and I love the dark. This is one time my team, I actually like dark mode. That looks really nice there.
Yeah, I like that you change the layout too. Like you can do like the carousel scroll, which is really nice as well. So if you wanted to be like in a smaller type compact where it's kind of like a scroll through right there, that one's really great too, especially for, I'm guessing, for Canvas and other things. If you have like a site where you can get that quick where the kids can like scroll right through it and keep it more like that. So I love that. That's fun.
We're saving time all with just one collection, right? So what can you do with it, Brett, as far as like, let's go back to classroom, right? As far as like how would you share differently instead of just sharing it the way that you and Sean were kind of showing some different links?
So the nice thing with that is like if you were in your classroom, what you can do is you can just share, like instead of like sharing a bunch of links like we have up here, you can actually just share it in as it doesn't look as nice as Matt's Canvas or Canvas looking, but what you do is you share one link instead of sharing all these extra links. So what's nice is you can share this link to students. I love doing this with teachers. If teachers like, hey, I'm looking for some resources, and I have like an email, like, if you're pasting these email links in like of different resources, I love just making like a quick Wakelet. And I think I already have it open, but it takes you straight to the collection. And then if I add something later, or if I add like a collaborator like Matt or Jenna, then we can work together and we can build this, and I don't have to recreate the wheel. And that's the great thing about it.
Okay.
I feel like this is a really great time saver, but I feel like a lot of these things I'm able to do in slides. So I'm wondering and thinking how this is going to benefit my second graders. And then I'm starting to notice these buttons over here on the left-hand side. And just thinking maybe if my students struggle with reading, check this out.
Engage as you progress through the engagement section of the...
Those were those words. And then I'm able to go ahead. I can get back out and go back to my collection. And then, Brett, didn't you show me something earlier?
Yeah, the new read feature, which is really nice. Which is, so if it, depending on the source, you can see the video right there. You don't have to click it. So the videos are embedded into Wakelet. So if they're doing like a Flipgrid or anything like that, it has the text right there. It can pull the text from the site, and it also can pull in the video, so you can see the video and you can watch it and you can move on, so you can kind of progress through it that way.
I really like that, as far as like, so Sean started showing us how to make a Wakelet, how to share things in. But Jenna, I know as far as like being also an elementary teacher, we're really working hard with our littles, teaching them to read left to right. And so telling them that they're going to have to scroll down for these resources, like this really reinforces as far as like, okay, we're going to do this. And then we're clicking at the right arrow. We're going to the next part, right? And so we're working on those directions, and really it chunks it up so that I don't have all of it. I mean, I love the way that you have that collection, but that's a good tip. And the reading it for you, that's not just good for second graders, right? As far as like, that's an accessibility tool for all different grade levels.
And you know what? One other thing I really like about Wakelet is the fact how in this collection, you're able to customize. It's not just a list of links. Going back to the Google Classroom, it's not just a bunch of thumbnails to different things. So if you're looking even on Jenna's screen, like you see the engage part, it's talking about like, as you progress through the engagement section of this Wakelet, reflect on your learning on the document below. So it's providing some more scaffolding of how students should be using these resources and links. And it's not just like, hey, here, because I know whenever I taught my fourth graders, I would give them a bunch of links in Google Classroom, and then I'm like, did you watch the video? And they're like, yeah. Or did you even read this? And like, no, you didn't. Obviously, you didn't read the two links I provided to you. You didn't click on them. And, you need to go back, right? So this gives them more of that scaffolding. And then on top of that, I think an issue with Google Classroom is if you want students to progress through links a certain way, like you have to make sure you add them to the assignment or in a specific way, right? Like you can rearrange the material posts in Google Classroom.
Sure.
But you can't rearrange the resources, right? Or the links, right? So this you can drag and drop and reorganize. Yeah. And Jen is showing that. Awesome.
Also, and so if you're brand new to Wakelet, like we're showing you, we're kind of going through all different ways that it's going to make your life easier, save you some time, add some accessibility features for your students. And we showed you as far as like adding links, like what does that look like? But I'm thinking back as far as, Jenna, we were just talking about the readability feature, and we've been talking about, so can I add different types of media? I know one of the things I love is when during virtual or any of those types of things is when my kid had videos from his teachers, right? And it personalized it. And so we can do that in there. I think you were showing me earlier how you can actually, all right, Jenna's going to drop some knowledge here.
Yeah. So I mean, as you saw earlier, we can have a Flipgrid video, and it's a Flipgrid short. So I could then just personalize this, right? For my students, we'll hit allow, and then, hey, here I am. 3, 2, 1. Here's a Flipgrid video. It's a Flipgrid short. hey friends, make sure you're checking out the resources below. And then it's just right there.
Yeah, with the Flipgrid.
Oh, we're going to just not listen to that.
Okay,
So
you
how
did
quick-
not
we
open
did
a new
that.
tab. You
Just
didn't
do that
go
in
to
5
Flipgrid.
seconds.
Right there.
It's
Look at
all integrated. Like I love that. I mean, we love being able to add those features for students, right? As far as like, and so that's, and
That
the
is
screenshot is perfect. That's
Super
beautiful.
cool.
I love that it's a time saver for me, but also it's so good for our learners. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like if you got your kids at home that are working at home right now, or kids that are in your classroom, and you just put all the instructions right there, so everything's within one spot, whether your kids are in class or not. So
Yeah, and I think that really addresses as far as we think about, again, we don't know whether we're going to be virtual, face to face, and this alleviates all those issues, right? As far as like, it works great when you're in the classroom with them. They can access, like you said, from home. Hybrid situations, we can do all kinds of things. Actually, we've been talking about sharing with learners, but this has given me some ideas as far as like how we're sharing information with students. But as a teacher, we're usually even sharing beyond our classroom, right? As far as like, and so I've got some ideas up on the screen, but tell me some of the awesome ways you've seen teachers using Wakelet, not just with their students, but maybe beyond. So some good examples or things that you, or
I've
that.
got one if you want to
Cool.
see one. So
Oh,
originally,
we're gonna go live to Brett.
So originally, this is how I got started in Wakelet. I did I used the Twitter. What's great about the extension is it adds like a little button on your tweets where you can add them to Wakelet. As a coach who constantly curates resources for teachers, when I see something on Twitter, I will just add it to Wakelet. But what I've also started doing is when my administrators or some teachers would like share some tweets with our Raider Pride hashtag, I would curate them weekly into a Wakelet. So this is what really got me going because it was so quick for me just to search for the hashtag and then I could find tweets. So shout out to my South Ripley FFA, Mrs. Paget, and sharing our awesome tweets. So I would put them in here and then they can embed. So if they have videos and things, it will play like right through. And then I would share it with my teachers. So I really loved that feature of Wakelet is getting those tweets. So if you're going to a conference, you can search for hashtags and you can add tweets straight to a collection. I think that's one of the best features and one of the best ways I love using it.
So Brett, even if I'm not on Twitter, right, as far as like, I'm going to be able to see those tweets because you put them into a Wakelet. So I'm thinking as far as like when I was in the library, for my students and parents and community, I ran a separate Twitter account and it would just show what we're doing. And then I would have to get the fancy embed code from behind the scenes of Twitter to put onto a web page. Whereas, so that everybody could see beyond the library, what's happening in the library, what's happening in my classroom. But with that Wakelet, I could just have it and have, like you said, add those things in there. And so it's not that all my community was on Twitter. It's just that I felt like that was a good place to share, right? And so being able to make it accessible this way. And I know a lot of teachers do that for newsletters, right? As far as like they're always putting things together. And so I'm trying to think of some other ideas, examples this.
I can share one.
Oh, cool.
So this is one that I started pulling from for me, like as a teacher, was this fake social media for the classroom. Just finding a bunch of templates or resources to kind of bring the real world into my classroom for students. And some of these are just Google Slides or other ideas that I could kind of be inspired from. So again, when I want students to be creative, I might provide or peruse, come back through these and say, what might be a great option for students to show their understanding? Maybe doing a fake GoFundMe page for a cause that we're studying about, maybe with the Civil War or something like that goes with the Underground Railroad. I don't know. Or maybe a fake Facebook page. That's a pretty popular one from way back whenever I first joined Facebook back in 2005. But so like that's a great relevant thing. Like, can they understand like what important things would they need to put on a fake profile for their famous person that they did a study on or something like that. So this is a great thing that I created kind of for myself, right? But again, that share button, if you can see, this is on my like profile. So if I go to my public profile, you'll see some of my tech integration things that I've kind of pulled from that people can follow each other on Wakelet, and that they can see them and use them as well. So we're almost like it's crowdsourcing turned up like to 1,000, right?
Okay, so I like what you're saying as far as like being able to share like that. It's almost like a resource hub for yourself, because we said earlier, as far as like when we're using that extension, as far as like goodbye bookmarks. So it doesn't matter where I am. If I'm saving things, again, if Brett and I are piling up our resources, Sean is taking it a step further, and he is putting those together so that he can in turn share them. But I'm going to hop over. I feel like we're kind of doing some tips and tricks here. So it's like you've built a web page. You know what I mean? As far as like, this is the hot mess that people don't see. As far as like, this is, if I open a tab and I have Wakelet, so you can see, I might be sharing links just for myself. I'm starting kind of finding some new things on leadership. They might be public or they might be private. You might see there's a little lock down here. I want to go to Asheville, North Carolina, right? As far as like kind of planning a trip there. So saving me some links. And some might be accessible only if you have the link, right? As far as like, so you can see that this is one that's been shared with me. But as far as if it's public, just like Sean said, you can see this is how I've organized. So I've made some sections. If you find me on Wakelet or find any of us, those URLs are so easy. But I've got my resources for my school librarian friends here. I've got my education resources. So it's like it's built this web page for me, and I didn't have to do anything but just make public collections, as far as like I put these links together and then bam, like this is so pretty just to be able to grab that link and drop it in and have things just ready to go. So Katie, I'm seeing that question. So what about this? How do we have an answer for this one? Can we search the Wakelets we've made or that others have made? Do we have any quick tips as far as like how you could search Wakelets?
I mean, yeah, you can. Why recreate the wheel? That's the first thing. I always try to work smarter, not harder on some of these things. And that's what's so great about Wakelet is you can, there's a good chance, like if you go to a conference or something, there's a good chance that somebody's probably already curating for you. So what's great is you can find collections if they're public that people have made, and you can copy them and add them to your own. So searching for, if you go to like the Explorer.
All right, Brett, I'm going to put you live. Can you show us?
Yeah.
Like
So I was just on the search. So you can go to the search here and you can search for anything that you want. So for instance, I'm looking for like STEM, or if I'm looking for
start? Where did you?
Oh, I'm up here at the Explorer up here.
Okay.
It's the search. The search up here.
Hey, Brett, go hit home real quick.
Oops.
Hit your home real quick, because that's like your profile. So the first question that Katie asked was like, can you search your own collections? Like, there's your search bar for your own individual collection.
There's the magnifying glass. Perfect.
Yeah, you can search for like if I'm seeing what I have for STEM, then I have like my collections that I have that have some STEM stuff in it. So you can search that way. So this is some of the collections that I've created for STEM. So you can do it that way. So if I'm looking for something that I've already curated, then I can have that kind of all ready to go. But also you can use the search as well. If you're looking for something and that's the great thing. If you don't know where to start, you can just kind of search for it and see what's already out there and start kind of remixing your own. So if I'm looking for like STEM resources, for example, here, there are tons of examples of collections already out there that I can explore through. And this is what I love to do. For instance, I might go see what's in Linda Edwards's collection here. And if I really like something, I might just bookmark it, or I might copy this collection, which is really nice. I can copy this collection, or I can export. I can save it to my bookmarks, so I can bookmark this collection. And then if I like something, I can just bookmark this item, and then I can add it to my own collections. So I can add it to a collection right here. So that's really cool as well. So you can save
librarian tip. I want you to know when Brett copies that collection, guess what? It doesn't say created by Brett Miller. when you copy a collection, it always gives credit, right? And so it will say who that correct collection was originally created by. And I think that's really good to remember.
That's a nice, yeah, because Wakelet's a community, so giving
That's
credit. So thank you, Linda, for your example of STEM.
Shout out to Linda.
Way to go, Linda. Is Linda
So-
watching?
I don't know. We may have to tag her in our social later on.
Yeah.
Can we go back to who can I pull? Whose screen can I pull up for this? I want to see that collection that we are collaborating in and show that when we share Wakelet with each other, and that it also gives credit for who adds something in the collection. I think that's important too, right? As far as like, it's even though it's Brett's collection and Matt was like, hey, I have access to it. And we've seen Jenna moving things around. So when Jenna added her video, does it say added by Jenna? Or do we have that feature
See,
turned on?
there's Sherry right there. So it will say who added it. Oh, maybe I don't see. She must have not. Did you hit?
Hey, it was just a good video, Jenna. You didn't save it.
Oh, that's too
I mean,
bad.
come
I'll
on.
do
I
it
want
right
you to
now.
see
Here.
this.
I'm doing it right now.
I think we converted someone this evening. Okay, that might have been the final selling point, built-in Flipgrid. I'm thinking it's a good thing. So, good stuff there.
Hey, Brett, if you refresh it, you should see a new link that was added by me. So you'll see like who it was shared by, if we want to show that to the viewers.
Oh, we've got another. Ryan says he does his newsletters with Wakelet because it makes it super easy. You're saving all of these links and put them into a Wakelet, and it looks amazing. It's easy to share.
See.
Good to go.
Sean, it looked like you had it on yours.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Yep.
So this was added by you, and I can see like it was added by Brett. Since we're not showing Brett's screen, it shows who it was added by. There's Sherry right there.
Love.
So that's pretty cool. Now, going back to the search and the feature, there is an additional superpower, and I guess are we still on tips and tricks? Are we still good with that? Like, I think
We are
Yeah.
smashing the
Okay.
tips and tricks right in with everything.
So this is an additional superpower that I've just discovered because it's a recent update. If I go to my account settings right here, if I'm an educator, I can switch my account to an education account. Now that gives you a couple of things. One, it allows you to kind of create and manage student accounts, which that's a whole nother like an hour of conversation.
Hey, that's a whole nother, I feel like that's a whole nother live stream, right? We would love to tell you about that because it's a super cool update, taking it to the next level.
We can come back and geek over the student level. But what I want to show you is this. Brett kind of dabbled around in the explore button, and I'll just, before I save that, I'll go to the explore. Here's what's popular on Wakelet. Okay. So all sorts of things. Not necessarily everything education related, but if I specifically go to my account settings and switch on and make it an education account and save that, now when I click that, here's a preview of that create student accounts. Now,
wait, so time out. There are people across the world using Wakelet, and they're not all teachers. I think that's
right.
Yeah.
because it's such an amazing tool. People are saving their recipes. They're saving all kinds of things personally. And so education account, that is.
And so this is something, when you click the explore now, it's going to be a lot more. Well, it looks the same. The last time I did this, it was like, was a transformation. Like
it probably already transformed it. It already knows.
Oh, they probably did. They probably just already know me. And like, it was a complete shift 180. Like here's digital escape rooms. Here is, maths and numeracy support. There's all sorts of great things about equity, race, and cultural literacy that has to do with teaching that then I can use as a resource for me to kind of go back about that searching. But it customizes that explore feature a little bit more.
That is a great tip as far as like being able to do this. Okay, so I wanna walk us back because we have talked about lots and lots of things, but really as we talk about tips and tricks, our number one tip is what?
Sign up.
You got to sign up.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Use it. You
Just
got to
jump
use
in,
it.
right? Just ride the wave. Just go
Get the
ahead
stickers.
and sign up at wakelet.com. That's how you're going to get started. It's super easy to create your account. Wait, Jenna, what do we know about Wakelet? Why should we create an account? It's
free. Come on.
It's free. Yes, for sure. We've been showing you as far as like tips and tricks. Creating in Wakelet is easy. If you can grab a URL, you can make a Wakelet. I mean, that's literally all it is, right?
That's why I love it. Super simple. That's why I
Super
share it a lot with
simple.
teachers.
But looks fancy. I mean, as far as like, it looks amazing. Hold on, Jenna. What is up on your screen? I kind of want to bring that up. It looks pretty from my end.
Oh, Wakelet I found.
What?
It was just under the Explore button. I was like, hey, this looks really cool. Yeah, it's a Wakelet that Tamara created.
It's one of my favorite topics. I couldn't resist. So sustainable development goals, right? As far as like, because we're talking about real projects and things like that. So it is easy to be inspired by other people in Wakelet, right? As far as like so many great people across the world that are creating these collections. And so you can get creative with it. You can build these amazing collections, add content from all of those different places that we were showing you. And Matt was like, oh yeah, we can collaborate, right? As far as like, we love being able to share it publicly so that people can see it, or share it privately where it's just, you have to have that link, right, to be able to get there. So depending how you're doing and sharing it, for sure. What other tips and tricks? Like you said, Sean, we've been kind of interweaving them. Are there other ones that we want to talk about this evening?
How about that new tab where you can curate, even if you have like a bunch of tabs open? I don't know about you, but sometimes like my Chrome where I have like 15 tabs, you can't even read them anymore. And you're just like opening up all these resources and trying to, what are you going to do with all of them?
Okay, we're going there, right? Okay, here we go. We've already seen, obviously, this is my screen. I love me some tabs. What you're not seeing is a bunch of them are squished, right? I have a lot of tabs. Sean mentioned the extension. Love the Wakelet extension, but this is why I love it. This is a love-hate relationship. As far as this is a feature you can turn on or off. So here's what happens. Every time I open a new tab, it shows me every single tab that I have open. I think that's kind of cool, right? As far as
just
like
for that.
Right. So if I wanted to, I could create a collection with all of these tabs just by pressing this one button. You'll notice it opened a new tab, ironically enough, and it's about to bring all my hot mess desktop here. You can see it working behind the scenes. And while it's working, it's like, you wanted a media view, but maybe I wanted a compact view, like squish it for me. Maybe
the
I
mood
want
board's
a
pretty
view.
cool too. The
Okay,
mood board is pretty cool.
This is going to be a hot mess, right? But we're going live with Sherry's hot mess of tabs. Here we go. Mood board. It's bringing it in. And oh my goodness, Sean, this is where I think, can you walk me through? Because some of these don't look so great.
Oh, yeah. So you're hovering over those, like click that fancy little pencil icon right there.
Oh, wait, edit. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and you can edit. So like here again, you can customize your kind of your saved bookmarks, right? So whatever that content is, if you need something more visual, you can either create and upload something, or again, you have access to Unsplash, where you can find something that's relative to what you have, and it saves it.
Okay,
awesome. And you can edit the like the description or title as well.
How do I do that?
Again, click the pencil.
Oh, so this is going to do it not just for the picture. I can do it for anything.
Right.
Oh,
and then you can now edit the text at the bottom there.
All right. So this is my Slack. Oh, and it says, "What are you doing, Sherry? You're working too fast. We want to make sure we save it." Done. So, and some of them I may not want, right? Again, remember, I just saved all of these. I can quickly go, you know what? That wasn't supposed to be in the collection. Hit the trash can. This wasn't supposed to be in the collection. Hit the trash can. But you saw, again, I just brought all of these into a collection, and I can quickly shape it up, give it a title, right? So this is my hot mess. I can add a cover image or not. And
And
bam.
that saved like 30 control V's if you're
Oh my
putting that
goodness.
into a
Yeah.
document.
How is your computer still running?
It's running. It's a good computer.
Yeah.
How about that?
Hey, well, go back to that really quick, because I think there's a couple other things that I think, and you're sharing. So we're going to walk you through, because just
Cool.
like we're walking through with some friends here. If you're in that edit, where's it at? Oh, there it is. You can in the upper, you should be able to change the layout here as well. You don't have to keep it like
Wait.
if you want it back in media
If I didn't
view,
like
you can
this?
change it. Yeah, if you didn't like that mood board, you can change it back to media view.
Okay.
Or maybe
Media.
if it's too thumbnaily, you can.
If I
make
really
it,
wanted to scroll
Yeah,
because I
right,
have
but-
that many links. Okay, cool.
right. And then the other thing that I like to do, you see a settings cog in the upper left-hand corner.
The gear wheel.
Yeah. So this is where you have settings cog, the gear wheel. You have your sharing settings, allowing people to copy it. Collaboration.
Copy in my
You can
hot
also-
mess. Okay.
You can also change and have a background image as well. So if you want to get a little festive and maybe add like a great unsplashed image for maybe this is a certain project you're working on, it'll add that to the background as well.
Nice.
And that was quick. I didn't have to go anywhere. I can add a cover image if I want to, so I can upload something. Oh, wait. That's so I can bring something from my desktop or whatever I want to do that. What if I don't want a cover image? Can I just say no cover image?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think you
Just
just leave
leave
it
it.
as is.
Just
Yeah.
leave it as
Yeah.
is. And then when I'm done. And because I didn't say a cover image, now that I've saved it, again, it's gone, right? As far as like, and so this is just mine. It's my hot mess. And remember, if I want to go back and edit and go to I can go here and go, I really don't need this collection. This was just for our fun tonight. And I can totally delete this collection as Jenna did with her Flipgrid video, right?
And before you delete that, there's actually like a new feature that I think that just came out like either yesterday or the day before with the new likes that you can add reactions to your post. Like if you go to one of those resources over there, you'll be able to, where the thumbs up is, you can actually like add like a heart or like a 100.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like if you
say done.
If I made this public, or what are you
say
telling
done
me?
real quick. Hit done real quick on your
Hit done.
collection.
Okay, hit done. Got it.
And then go over that hover over your like little thumbs up down below. You can add that to any of the. So if you're doing collaboration or you're sharing, you can give a thumbs up or like that adds a little bit more of a collaboration feature as well, just to kind of give a little bit of a reaction. So I really like that they just put that in. So
it would probably be better as far as like, since that's my hot mess and that's private, but reactions are going to be good when I begin to share these out, right? As far as like to be able to do that. Cause I'm seeing that we've got some links for people, right? As far as like, I feel like we've talked about a lot and we want them to be able to do things. So it looks like we've got a 5-star one that we're going to be sharing. And so when they like it, they're going to be able to give it a good thumbs up here. So I can give some reactions here that this is a good collection. Oh, and there it is. I see what you mean, Brett. Awesome.
yeah.
Okay. Any other things from my tips and tricks here while we're in my hot mess of a desktop?
I think you all showed me something earlier. If you go to a new tab again, Sherry.
Okay.
Thank you. Aren't you able to drag one of those things over to a collection? Isn't that what you showed me earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have different opinions on this, right? As far as like, I have it turned on. Again, I feel like this is, if there's one thing that you get yes and no in the middle, it's about whether you have this feature enabled to be able to consolidate this. Wait a minute. I feel like I got a reaction from a friend here. Yeah, Amy Moore's like 100%. I don't know if she's 100% for it or 100% against it, but she has strong feelings about this. So thank you. So yes, I think this is amazing. So as far as like, I'm like, okay, cool. I've got this awesome link and I think it's going to fit in my leadership collection and I can just grab it and drop it in there because I know it's there. Obviously these leadership courses, like it says that, so I'm going to drop it in that collection.
And
I
what's really
love that.
And what's really cool, Sherry, if you're like Sherry and I, where we just don't know where it's going to go yet, you can just drag it over to your bookmarks and worry about it later. That's one of my favorite things. I don't know where it's going, but I know I want it in my Wakelet. So I will just add it to I'll just drag it over to my
just
bookmarks.
put it right here And it's going to be safe and sound because there are a lot of bookmarks here that have not been organized, but that's okay. They're there. And guess what? We can search them and be able to do that. Okay, awesome. We have awesome things to share with you as far as like for later, because we've told you lots and lots and lots. So this link, okay, we're going to have to be able to share that. Does anybody else have the takeaway up? So I'm going to type that into the chat over here so that you get this, and it is going to be 5startech.link. Oh, thank you. Oh, Wakelet. And I think we probably, Jenna, can you tell us what's in the takeaway? I think we can share that.
Yeah, I can share my screen really quickly if you'd like.
Even better. Yeah, that would be awesome. Here we go.
Either way. So if this was too much for you and you're like, I'm new to Wakelet, where do I start? We've got you covered in this beginning part. There's a Wakelet collection right here, how to use Wakelet, but then there's also an official guide. So that's a PDF pulled in right here. We briefly mentioned that Wakelet is safe, and here's where it talks just a little bit more about this because safety is one of our biggest concerns. We want to make sure our students and ourselves are safe. Hey, what can you do with the Wakelet? What are some examples, some ideas? I know we mentioned some, but if you need a refresher, we've got some right here and beyond. So we've got that updates. I know that we went through a few of those, and I think Sean was the one who had said that there's something coming on that we didn't share with you. I bet it's going to be coming through here soon. But then last but not least, join that Wakelet community and it just continue to spread that Wakelet love.
That Wakelet
All right.
love.
I feel like I'm wanting to know, right? As far as like, how are we feeling about Wakelet now? How are you feeling about this evening that you spent nerding out with us about Wakelet? Hope we have no hairbrush people in our crowd, although that is my favorite gift, but not appropriate for tonight. I want to see a 5, right? As far as like lots of smiling, patting ourselves. We're giving 4s, right? We're like, yes, we dropped some knowledge on you tonight. Got to tell you all about one of our favorite tools, Wakelet.
I almost want to be 4, 5, and 6. Like, I'm going to pick them all.
We'll take them all. We will take them all. Yes.
That's
and
the
you know
average
what?
Friday for me.
Heart emojis are always appropriate as well. We will take all the heart emojis. Thanks, Ryan, for sure. Okay.
I like the I like the 5. I keep looking at the 5 and I see some 5s in the chat and I'm like, those people, it's like I know something that you don't know, right? Like I have just discovered something that's just going to totally revolutionize how I package content for myself, for my students, how I might share resources to family members. Like, this is incredible.
It's good for everybody. And I love that. And I feel like we probably all made this face tonight. If we watch the replay, probably each of us had that little sly grin because we've been so excited to share that. So thank you again for spending time hanging out with us. Seriously, all of y'all, thanks for hanging out with me, right? We're talking about Wakelet and teaching me all these new things. Like, I feel like we're going to have to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Like
Sure.
Brett.
Yeah.
Other things that
Let's
we'd
do
like
it
to
tomorrow.
talk about. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe another time we can get together and go to the next level, right? So once you get your account all set up and you're ready to go, we'd love for you to hang out with us again, and we'll talk more about students utilizing it even more, sharing some content and some good stuff like that. But again, we're from 5-Star. We love some Wakelet, and we've loved spending the evening with you. So have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.
See ya.